So, have you ever thought about starting an online business? I mean, specifically something like website flipping. It might sound kind of familiar, like flipping houses, but today we're going to do a deep dive into a guy named Thomas.
Okay.
And he actually built a $1 billion empire. Can you believe that?
Wow. $1 billion.
Yeah, just by flipping websites. And get this, he started back in his dorm room with just $100 and a credit card.
It's crazy how some of the biggest success stories start small. You know? So you don't need a ton of money to make it happen.
Exactly. I mean, it really proves that you don't need a ton of capital to get going. What's really fascinating, though, is how he actually scaled up.
Right.
He didn't just buy and sell any website, you know.
He's just strategic about it.
He was super strategic about it, yeah. He focused on boosting their profitability before even selling them.
Smart.
And then he would reinvest those profits back into acquiring even bigger sites.
So it was like a snowball effect, kind of.
Exactly, yeah. So it wasn't just about flipping for quick cash.
It was a long game.
Yeah, it was building something much, much bigger. So I'm kind of curious, as he scaled, did he go after a specific type of website?
Yeah, so it seems like he was initially focused on content websites,
Okay.
like blogs.
Ah, okay.
You know, they were relatively inexpensive to buy, right? And they had the potential to grow really fast, especially if you had a solid content strategy.
Right.
Then, as he started gaining experience and more capital, he shifted towards more complex sites, like think e-commerce businesses and those software platforms, SaaS.
Right.
And those generally had higher profit margins.
Makes sense, yeah. So it's like he was leveling up, basically. Kind of like in a video game, you know?
Yeah.
Starting with those entry-level websites and then going to those bigger, more complex things. But I heard that he actually moved beyond just the actual flipping of websites, right?
I did, yeah. He kind of stumbled upon this gap in the market, right? Yeah. He realized that while there were these big platforms for selling large businesses, there wasn't really much support for smaller entrepreneurs who were like, hey, I want to sell my business.
Ah, interesting.
So what did he do? He built a solution.
And that's where FE International comes in.
Bingo.
Yeah.
That's the company he founded to help people sell their online businesses.
Ah, okay.
You know, he didn't just create a platform for those transactions. He wrote a book and even made a course on, you guessed it, website flipping.
Oh, wow.
So this attracted even more people who were looking to sell and even some who were actually looking to buy.
It's amazing how he turned sharing his knowledge into this huge business opportunity. But I'm imagining with that influx of clients, that must have been a pretty big challenge.
Yeah, definitely. And he knew he couldn't scale alone.
Right.
So he found a partner who had, get this, investment banking experience.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and that was super key because it meant they could apply those strategies you see in big mergers and acquisitions.
Right.
But they adapted them to the world of smaller online deals.
Oh, okay.
So it's taking the big leagues playbook and applying it to the minor leagues.
Interesting. So instead of just flipping, he created this whole ecosystem around it.
Exactly.
I'm curious, though, did that partnership play a role in that 8-figure deal he ended up landing? You know, the one over 10 million.
For sure. So the deal actually came from a referral.
Okay.
Which I think really speaks to how important building trust and a solid reputation is, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But their combined experience was essential to actually navigate such a big, complex transaction.
Yeah, because that's not a small deal at all.
No, not at all. Especially considering that they'd mostly been handling smaller deals up to that point.
Right.
So it was a big jump.
That must have been a huge turning point for them.
Absolutely. It kind of proved that building that trust and delivering results could lead to those game-changing opportunities.
For sure. It also really highlights, the need for a system.
Yeah.
A way to evaluate these websites that's beyond just your gut feeling.
Right. You can't just rely on intuition.
Exactly, because not all websites are created equal.
Exactly.
So did Thomas have a framework that he used to evaluate these potential acquisitions?
He did. So he had this thing, he called it the trifecta.
Okay.
Of website value,
That's trifecta.
an evergreen business model,
Okay.
recurring customers, and growth potential.
Okay, so the pillars of the website.
Yeah. They support long-term profitability.
Okay, so let's unpack that a bit.
Sure.
What does he mean by an evergreen business model?
Okay, so think of it this way. An evergreen business, it caters to something people always need.
Okay.
Or want.
Okay.
It's not going away anytime soon.
Right.
It's like selling shovels in a gold rush.
I like that.
People always need shovels.
Right.
So in the online world,
Yeah.
this could be a website that offers online courses
Okay.
for professional development, or like a platform that helps you manage your money. These are things people always need.
Yeah. Regardless of like,
The economy,
right, exactly, yeah.
trends.
Okay, so it's about finding that niche
Yes,
where there's consistent demand.
exactly.
Got it. Okay, what about recurring customers then?
Recurring customers are so important.
Yep.
They're the lifeblood
Okay.
of any successful online business.
Okay.
They give you that steady revenue.
Okay.
You don't have to always find your customers.
Right, right,
So think about those subscription services
Right.
like Netflix or Spotify.
right.
People pay every month.
Yep.
So you know what your income's going to be.
Yeah.
And for website,
Yeah.
flipping sites with a lot of returning customers
Yeah.
are generally worth more
Okay.
because they're more predictable,
Right.
sustainable.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, so it's not just about that one-time sale. It's about getting people to come back
Exactly.
for more.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine that kind of ties into the growth potential thing too.
Exactly. Buyers want businesses with room to grow. They want to see potential to increase revenue
Okay.
and profitability
Right.
even further.
Okay.
So this could be going to new markets,
Yep.
expanding product lines,
Right.
or just making what they already do
Yeah.
more efficient.
More efficient. Yeah.
So a website with a strong foundation,
Okay.
but room to grow
Yeah.
is often more attractive
Okay.
than one that's already at its peak.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like buying a house
Yes,
that's in good condition, but you can like add on.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So Thomas's journey might seem crazy,
Right.
but anyone can apply these principles.
Okay.
He actually broke it down
Okay.
into 5 actionable steps.
Oh, perfect. Let's get into those.
Okay.
This is where it gets really useful for our listener.
Yes.
Who wants to actually get started.
Absolutely.
Okay, so first step.
First step, set a budget.
Okay.
Figure out how much you can invest.
Right.
You don't need a ton of money.
Right, because Thomas started with $100.
Exactly.
So just work within your means.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. What's next?
Next, you got to pick a business model,
Okay.
one that you're interested in
Right.
and you know a bit about.
Okay.
Do you like creating content?
Yeah.
Maybe start a blog
Okay.
or an affiliate marketing site.
Right.
Are you good at e-commerce?
Okay.
Maybe buy an online store.
Got it.
The key is to pick something you'll enjoy
Right, because you're going to be working on it.
a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So passion meets opportunity.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our budget.
Yes.
We've picked our niche.
Yes.
How do we find these websites?
That's a good question.
Is there like a secret website marketplace?
There's not one secret marketplace.
Okay.
There's actually a lot of online platforms
Okay.
that specialize in buying and selling websites.
Oh, okay.
You can also find businesses for sale
Okay.
on those general platforms,
Okay.
even ones for like brick and mortar businesses. And just like real estate networking is huge.
Yeah.
Go to events.
Okay.
Talk to other website flippers.
Right.
Reach out to website owners directly.
So it's kind of like casting a wide net.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
But let's say we found a website.
Okay,
How do we know if it's a good deal?
good question.
How do we negotiate?
Negotiating can be tricky,
Yeah.
but Thomas says build relationships first
Oh,
before you make an offer.
Gotcha.
It's not about just throwing numbers out there.
Okay.
It's about understanding why they're selling,
Right.
finding a solution that works for both of you.
So it's more about collaboration.
Exactly,
Yeah.
than confrontation.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And when it comes to numbers,
Yeah.
websites are usually valued based on their profit,
Okay.
not just their revenue.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you got to understand the financials.
So if a website is making, let's say, $100,000 profit each year,
Okay.
and it's valued at 5x,
Yes.
that means it could sell for $500,000. Okay.
But those multiples,
Yeah.
they can change
Okay.
depending on the industry,
Okay.
the growth potential,
Right, right.
other factors.
Yeah, that makes sense. So do your research,
Yes,
see what similar businesses are going for.
exactly.
Okay, so there's like an art and a science to it.
Yes.
Okay, what other tips did he have for like buying?
So he said, look beyond the surface.
Eat.
Don't just focus on the traffic or revenue numbers.
Right.
Look at the website's history,
Okay.
the customers,
Okay.
how they market.
Right.
Look for red flags like declining traffic, high bounce rates,
Okay.
no social media presence.
Right. Right.
These could mean problems with the business.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like being a detective,
Yes,
looking for those clues.
exactly.
Okay. What about selling?
Selling.
Any tips for getting the most out of it?
Be patient.
Okay.
Businesses grow in value over time.
Okay.
Don't sell too early.
Right.
Build a solid base.
Yeah.
Get those recurring customers.
Oh.
Show there's room for growth.
Okay.
This will make your website more appealing to
Right.
buyers.
And you can probably get more money.
Yes.
Okay, so like, let an investment mature.
Exactly.
Okay, what if you don't have a lot of money
Okay.
and you don't want to wait years
Yeah.
for that big payout?
Thomas says consider other deal structures,
Okay.
like a revenue sharing agreement.
Okay.
So you pay a smaller fee up front,
Okay.
then share a percentage of the profits.
Okay, so both of you have skin in the game.
Exactly.
Okay, so it minimizes your initial investment
Yes.
and you could get a bigger return later on.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. What other deal structures?
He also mentioned seller financing.
Okay.
It's basically a mortgage for a website.
A mortgage.
Instead of paying everything up front,
Right.
you make payments to the seller over time,
Okay.
often with interest.
Right.
It's good for both sides.
Okay.
The seller gets a steady income.
Right.
The buyer gets a bigger website with less money up front.
Right, spreading it out over time.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
So these are really good insights
Yeah, they're great.
for anyone looking to get into website flipping.
Yeah, I really like Thomas's story
Mm-hmm.
because it kind of shows
Yeah.
that it's not this like mysterious thing.
Yeah, you don't have to be a tech genius
Yeah,
or have a business degree.
exactly.
It's about understanding the basics,
Okay.
taking calculated risks,
Yeah,
and being willing to learn as you go.
I like that a lot. So before we finish up,
Yeah.
I'm curious,
Yeah,
did Thomas talk about the emotional side of website flipping at all?
he did.
Okay.
He said, stay focused on your goals
Okay.
and don't get discouraged by setbacks.
Yeah.
Website flipping,
Yeah.
like any business,
Right.
has its ups and downs.
Right. It's not going to be smooth sailing all the time.
Exactly. You'll have deals fall through.
Okay.
Websites might underperform.
Right.
There'll be unexpected challenges.
Okay.
So you got to be resilient.
Right. You got to be able to bounce back.
That's exactly.
Okay. That's good advice.
He also said, celebrate your wins.
Oh, I like that.
No matter how small,
Yeah.
each successful flip,
Yeah.
each milestone
Mhm.
shows your hard work is paying off.
Yeah.
And that you're on the right track.
Right. Acknowledge the progress. Enjoy the journey.
Yes.
Even when it's a bit bumpy.
Well said.
Okay. I think that's a great takeaway
Mhm.
for our listener.
Yeah.
Website flipping can be tough,
Yeah.
but rewarding.
Yeah. You combine your passion,
Yeah.
your skills,
Mm-hmm.
your strategic thinking.
Yeah.
You can build something really valuable.
Right. Online.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we send our listener off
Yes.
on their adventure,
Mm-hmm.
let's leave them with something to think about.
Mm.
Knowing what we now know about, Thomas's crazy journey and kind of like the whole world of website flipping,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of online business could you like build or even acquire that would be super valuable, in like 5 years or even 10 years?
It's a really good question. It makes you think beyond just what's popular right now and try to imagine like what the future of online business even looks like.
Yeah, it's like we're planting this little seed for our listeners,
Yeah.
to think about because the internet's always changing.
Always.
So something that's like niche right now
Right.
could be huge later on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where I think being able to spot those upcoming trends,
Definitely.
super valuable. Like, for example, think about like virtual reality and augmented reality,
Yeah. What kind of businesses are going to do well in those spaces?
Exactly. Yeah. Or even like think about like sustainability,
Right.
ethical consumption.
You should right now.
Yeah. Could you build a platform that connects, buyers
Mm-hmm.
with businesses that are eco-friendly?
Yeah.
Or like a marketplace for secondhand stuff
Oh, yeah.
that promotes that whole like circular economy idea.
I love that.
Yeah, those are just like a couple ideas though.
You know?
You don't always have to create something totally new though, right?
No, you could buy an existing business
Okay.
and adapt it.
Yeah, like take a traditional business
Mhm.
and bring it online.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Reach a bigger audience.
Yeah, or maybe like buy a website
Oh, yeah.
that's all about some hobby
Yeah.
that's about to become really popular.
That's smart.
Yeah, so many possibilities.
So many.
And what's cool is website flipping kind of gives you that freedom
Yeah.
to, adapt to the changes that are happening.
You can pivot.
You can pivot, exactly.
Easily.
Yeah. So it's all about staying ahead of the game,
Definitely.
seeing those opportunities before everyone else jumps in.
Spotting them early.
Yeah, but I think it's important to remember it's not just about chasing those trends, right?
Right.
It's about understanding what people need.
Yes, fundamentally.
Fundamentally, yeah.
Yeah.
What are those problems people are going to need solved in the future?
Exactly.
What's going to make their lives, easier or more fun? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Better, more fulfilling.
Yeah, and that's what leads to those really valuable businesses, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that the big takeaway here is the future of this whole website flipping thing, like the internet itself, it's constantly evolving, right?
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
And it's being shaped by innovation and creativity and, understanding how people behave.
Yeah, understanding people is huge.
Totally, yeah. So to everyone listening who's like ready to dive in to online business, just remember, you gotta start somewhere, right?
Take that first step.
Yeah,
learn,
educate yourself, explore.
Don't be afraid to take a chance.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
And as you're, starting on this adventure, think back to Thomas.
Yeah, what he accomplished.
It shows you what's possible.
With the right mindset.
Yeah, if you're willing to put in the work
and the effort
and you're passionate,
you
never know, maybe one day.
We'll be talking about your success story.
I love it.
Right here on the Deep Dive.
That's the dream.
But until then, keep learning.
Yeah.
Keep growing.
Keep flipping those websites.
And keep flipping those websites. We'll catch you next time.